So we're going to do our review today. We are going to also be having this as it's a review video today. Tomorrow when you normally have your live lesson, you'll be taking the test, and so I will keep my time on Google Meets, but I'm going to make it like office hours instead of doing a live lesson, because if we're having a test, we're not going to do a lesson, right? So you guys can pop in at any time between 12:40 and 1:20 to ask any questions that you need to ask about your test if you want to. So I suggest you try the test first and then have your questions ready for me. So let's go through the review together. For number 1, we're looking at the point A located at 6, -5, and it's reflected across the x-axis. And what will those coordinates be? Now, some of you figured out what the pattern is. When you reflect over an axis, whatever axis you're reflecting over, that coordinate stays the same and the other one changes. So without doing any work, we could see that the x coordinate would stay the same and the y would become the opposite, which would be 5. Now, if you don't remember that rule or you can't remember it, all you have to do is draw yourself a little sketchy and plot your point, 6, -5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 2, 3, 4, 5. Here's our point A, and you want to reflect it over the x-axis. You count to the x-axis and then count away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you will see that that is at 6, 5. So however you want to do it, I think that this is the easier way. So if it's reflected over the y-axis, you keep that coordinate the same and change the other. Okay? So reflection, hints. If it's x-axis, keep x, change y. And if it's the y-axis, keep y, change x. And of course, when I say change, I just mean change the sign. So number 2, what is the distance from the point H at 7, 6 to point J at -5, 6 on the coordinate plane? Now remember, again, you can always draw yourself a sketch if you want, but we have to identify one of the coordinates is the same, right? So that means the y coordinate is the same here, so our x coordinate is the one that's changing. So we're going from 7 to -5. So remember, if one of them is positive and one of them is negative, that means that they're on opposite sides of the axis. So this is where you do the absolute value and add. Okay, so it's 7 plus the absolute value of 5, -5, which is 5. So 7 plus 5 gives me 12. 12 units. Oh, I forgot to circle C for the above. Now, if you didn't remember the rules, you can always sketch and you can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, -5, and 6. And then you can, of course, count. And you will find that there's 12 units between here. Okay? Number 3, the area of the parallelogram. So we're looking at a parallelogram, so that's base times height for the area. On your test, I didn't give you guys a chart with all of the formulas. What I wanted you guys to do is just use your notes. So if you need a formula, check your notes to find where it is. The base here is 22, and the height is 15 1/4. Okay? You notice that the answers are written as decimals, so it's up to you if you want to solve this as mixed numbers or decimals, but if your answer is a decimal, then you should probably just write this as a decimal. Remember, a quarter is 0.25. So base times height, we're doing 22 times 15.25. Okay, so we're just going to take it off to the side and multiply and see what we get. So 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Done. Placeholder. 2 times 5. Again, this is all going to be the same. 10. this will be 5, this will be 10, and this will be 3. And adding it up, we get, oh, I'm so sorry, was my finger in the way the whole time? 0, 5, 5, 3, 3. I have 2 decimal places, so that's 335.5 centimeters squared. So that is choice B. Okay. Number 4, which equation could be used to find the area of the trapezoid below? So for this one, all you have to do is match it up to the correct equation. So my suggestion is to write it out yourself. When you look through your notes, you'll find your formula. 1/2 height times base 1 plus base 2. Okay, so all you have to do is say, okay, what's my height? Remember, the height is from the top to the bottom, that's 30. Base 1 and base 2 are 25 and 75. It doesn't matter which one is which. So when you plug it into your formula, you'll see 1/2, 30, times base 1 plus base 2, so 25, or let's start with the 75 because all of the options here start with the 75 plus 25. So now we just have to figure out which of these this would match, right? So none of these look exactly the same. So you have to think, remember, 1/2 is the same as dividing, right? So you can change this into over 2, right? So 75 plus 25 over 2 times 30 to match it up here, which is choice C. Okay, and you just have to look a little bit, do a little manipulating here, that's all. It's obviously not going to be A. A doesn't even include the 25, which we need. We're not subtracting, so that can't be it. And then this one doesn't include our 1/2, so it's choice C. Okay, let's move on to the back. What is the perimeter of this rectangle? So when you have a shape on your coordinate plane, remember, all you have to do is count. Just be careful because you have to check out your units. This is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because we're landing on 10, so be careful. This is 2, 4, 6, and 8. Okay, 2, 4, 6, 8. You have to be careful with that. We had an opening task last week on this, and only one student got that right because it was a scale of 2 instead of 1. So when you count your perimeter, your lengths and your widths, you're counting by 2, so you got to be careful. So this side here is 2, 4, not 1, 2. So careful, careful. All right, that means this side over here is also 4, right? And now this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Okay, so be super careful. Only one student got that question right last week in the opening task. You gotta be careful. So when you do perimeter, you're really adding everything together. So it's 12 plus 12 plus 4 plus 4. So that's 24 plus 8. There's a lot of noises coming from my house today. I'm so sorry. And that gives us 32. Okay, so it's 32 units. Now, if you're rushing on the test and you do this incorrectly by counting by ones, you will get partial credit, okay? Number 6. Joey's back deck is shaped like a triangle. It has a base of 70 feet and a height of 16 feet. What's the area of his, it says roof, that's supposed to say deck. Sorry. Okay. We want to find the area. Okay, so it's got a base of 70 feet and a height 70 feet and a height of 16 feet. Okay? It might even look like this, but either way, remember the height is from top to bottom. So all we need is the area formula for a triangle, which is 1/2 base times height. My base is 70, my height is 16. So I'm going to plug it all in. 1/2 base, which is 16, times height, which is 70. Okay, now you can do this however you want. You can do 1/2 of 16 or 1/2 of 70. I'm going to do 1/2 of 16 because I know it's going to be easier to multiply 8 by 70 than it's going to be to do 16 times 35. So I'm going to do this. 8 half of 16, and now I'm doing 8 times 70. 8 times 7 is 56, and add on the 0. So the area is 560 feet squared. On your test, it's super important to remember your units. You will lose a point if you don't have your units and they're not squared. Número, oh geez, 7. Wow, I had a moment there. Miss Morano is using a box that is 2 inches wide, 4 inches long, and 10 inches high. What's the volume of the box? So, volume of a box is the same as a rectangular prism, so that's length times width times height. If you want, you can draw yourself a little diagram. Okay? I don't think I've ever drawn a box that fast in my life. It's 2 inches wide, 4 inches long, 10 inches high. Clearly my drawing is not accurate. Okay, if you want to draw that first, you can. You don't even have to though, you can just use your formula. Length is 4, width is 2, height is 10. So we just plug everything in, length times width times height. So it's 4 times 2 times 10. Sorry about that. So we're doing length times width times height, which is 4 times 2 times 10. So this is 8 times 10, which is 80. And again, this is inches. This time 1, 2, 3. We're multiplying 3 units. Volume is always cubed 3. Okay, 80 inches cubed. Number 8. A bathtub is filled with water. It has a volume of 60 cubic feet. The tub is 6 feet long and 5 feet wide. What is the height? Again, if you would like to draw a little diagram, you can. We're assuming that this bathtub is shaped like a rectangular prism for now, okay? The total volume is 60 feet. It's 6 feet long and 5 feet wide, and we want to know the height. The volume is equal to the length times the width times the height. So if the length is 6 feet and the width is 5 feet, we're trying to find the height, and we know that the volume is 60 feet cubed. So we're going to plug in what we know into the formula. So it's going to be 60 is equal to 6 times 5 times the height, which is h. We don't know it yet, so we're going to just write h. Okay, and now we have 60 is equal to 6 times 5 is 30h, and we just have a nice little one-step equation to solve. So if we're multiplying by 30, we divide by 30 on both sides. So h is equal to 60 divided by 30 is 2. So the height is 2 feet. And number 9, Allison is trying to choose a pool for her backyard. She's choosing between 2 pools that are both shaped like parallelograms. The first pool is 7 feet deep, that's the height, and 40 feet long, the base. The second pool has an area of 200 square feet. How much larger is the first pool than the second? So we're only in this case looking at the area. Okay, so I know it says height. It's really supposed to say the width instead of the height, so it's kind of a little bit of a mistake, but don't worry about it. So the first pool, we're going to compare. The first pool, we don't know the area, so we're doing base times height. If the base is 40 and the height is 8, then that tells us that the total area, 8 times 4 is 32, and add your 0. The total area is 320 feet squared. The second pool, they're telling us that the area is 280 square feet. So they just want us to figure out how much larger is the first pool than the second pool. So we're just going to do first pool minus second pool. So that's 320 minus 280. Okay, so this gives us 40. So it's 40 square feet larger. Okay? Hey guys, for number 10, I'm so sorry. It says surface area. I had wanted that to be volume, so that's a mistake. So you can switch that to volume, and you're going to find it yourself. I already started drawing the net and everything, and then I realized, wait, I thought I didn't put any surface area on here. So we're going to change this to volume, so it's going to be length times width times height. The length is 10, the width is 5, and the height is 2. So you're going to find your volume. 10 times 5 times 2, which is 50 times 2, which is 100. So you get 100 inches cubed. And that's it. Okay guys, so that's everything you need to know for the test. Don't worry about any of the crazy problems that have been in the lessons. If you are hung up on something, you can continue to practice it, but this is all what's going to be on the test. Okay? So have fun reviewing, and remember to try your test before 12:40 so that if you have any questions, you can come to the office hours and ask me. Bye-bye.